Okay, so this is midday review, July 17th. July 17th, yeah. 7th month, 17th day, 2017. Okay, so the loser of the day was Dust, and that was a limited loss there, which was good. In at 358, closed for a couple $100 loss. And the winner of the day so far for me is SRG, long at 46.06. I think it's trading 46.97. It was just 47.20ish, I think, just a few minutes ago. So it's bullish, and hopefully it gets more lift. I'll probably add, I like the fact that the 20 is coming through the 100 on the daily. It is our play where the 200 comes down to a point, right? It's not perfect setup, but MACD's up, squeeze momentum's running. 20 is about to pop through the 100, and earnings, 17 days, I think. So this comes to us from Sean. Earnings, 17 days, yes. So that is a winner, and that is a loser. Now, funny enough, I did pick the bottom. Kind of knew it. Well, yeah, I did. Like right to the penny. Well, I was 3 cents off. Anyway, that's the way it goes. It's under VWAP right now, so we'll get that off the board. XIV, I'm hoping to exit my swing today. That was one I was slightly underwater on. There's a few that I'm slightly underwater on, and that's one that I'd like to get out of. So, look at it later on today. Definitely want to take a look at some of these others here. Oh, first, some housekeeping stuff, sorry. So what happened there this morning, so I got to start with an apology. Some of you will remember a time when we had poachers come through our room all the time, and in my haste this morning when I was really busy, what happens is I get all these DMs, and the DMs aren't just, hey Kurt, here's a good chart. They're anything from, hey Kurt, here's a good chart, to, hey Kurt, I'm on water, help me, my wife's gonna hate me, my dog died, and my aunt is losing all her money. Just endless stuff, and it all comes right before market opens. So that's why I put the message in to the room. Don't send me messages a half an hour, 45 minutes, even a couple hours before market open. It's a really tough time because I'm preparing myself, right? And number one, I'm a trader. Number two, I let people watch me trade, and I have to stay on the winning side, not just for our day traders. I have to stay on the winning side for our swing traders, and that's becoming a much more significant membership base. And then we've got our algorithmic modeling, and we have our own pool that we trade for, an investment pool that we execute trades for. So, and then we have our institutional guys that we have to train. So for the algos. So there's a lot of traffic on that DM in the morning. Like there might be only 20 or 30 or 40 people in this room, but you take that, multiply that by 6 different services, and some of them have a lot more than 20, 30, 40 people. So what happens is that's a busy DM. And it's not only that, it's non-members, right? So it gets tough. So when things are rolling through the chat room, my obligation to the chat room is, well, first of all, is to make money. And so anything that's not, alert driven, unless it's, hi, good morning, how are you? I have to be super sensitive to, because what happens is I've got members then that complain, and they say, that's not allowed in chat rooms, right? In alert services. In chat rooms it is, but not in a, you know, a professional chat alert service environment, because a lot of people work, right? And so everything time it dings, you know, they're distracted from, you know, they might be a certified accountant or whatever. And so it's important to keep that, that chat to as much alert as possible. Sure, a little bit of good mornings and stuff like that, fine. A little bit of chatter later on, fine. But right, you know, right when you're getting going in the morning, that's a sensitive time. So I assumed, and like the Bad News Bear movie, when you assume that makes an ass out of you and me, that's what happened. So my apologies to our new member, because I assumed that he was a poacher. And the problem is, my members get very angry when a poacher comes into the room. I don't care about the other services. That's not my issue. Like I'm as free enterprise as anybody you'll ever meet. In fact, you know, my employees are like, hey, we're going up to start our own company. I'm the first one to say, hey, I'll get involved, right? So I'm that's just my nature. So you know, whether it's, you know, unless it was a sucky service, I'd tell you it's a sucky service. But or even if you said I'm going off to start my own service, the thing is that it's just not allowed for you to promote your service inside of somebody else's. It's unprofessional. So and it reflects bad on the person anyway. But that's what happened. So it was mistaken identity. And, you know, so anyway, I've apologized for that on DM with the fellow. So there, that's, I think, deals with the apologies. As far as any announcements, oh yeah, we're starting masterclass tomorrow. Those master classes, by the way, the itinerary for it is identical to the itinerary for our training seminar that we hold quarterly. So this will be it, and so this will be the one time that our members get that for free. That's got a price tag of $3,000 on it, which is actually quite inexpensive considering what that includes. That's not beginner stuff. So, well, it runs through beginner to advanced, but I can go much further. So I'm just looking at our announcements here real quick from this morning. So yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 2 p.m. to 3:30. Today, by the way, being Monday, last night we ran into a problem with all of our algorithms and the charting that we use TradingView to represent the models. In that TradingView, there was a massive gap or anomaly in the charting, and everything got moved by like 28 hours or something. So we had a massive scramble last night just to get charts out, forget reports. So I've got a do-over tonight. So, you know, our big session every week is we have a 28-hour session on Sunday through Monday morning, and then I trade all day. So, you know, it's almost a 40-hour session. By the time I'm done, I've got to do that whole session again tonight. So, and then the master class tomorrow. So today, Monday, right after this, I'm out for the day. I gotta get some Z's. I gotta get some ocean time too. You know, a little bit of R&R in there, half an hour or something. So Tuesday it starts, and I don't think we'll get done by Friday. We'll be sending the videos to members anyway. It's a dry run for us anyway as a new service, and so that's, you know, the members get the, you know, the benefit of that, but also the fact that they're early adopters to our service. I think that's it for, I see the Discord room is starting to gain momentum there. That's cool. I'm going to try and get some live trades in there this week if I can. This July 12th video, you know, it's a little corny, but there's some in the July 12th and 13th video. Maybe it's the 13th that was total cornball. But anyway, one of them I went off. The point is last week there was some pretty serious technical setups in there. That top 10 list went out today, so we're going to review those right now. And then we're going to take a look at what else is going on. I was going to dump out a TRCH this morning. That's one of my dogs. Any of the dogs that I have, I'm really not upside down much on, so I shouldn't complain. But I'm not a good loser. That's my biggest. That's the number one thing I gotta work on in trading. I'm not a good loser. Okay, so I think that's enough for that. 12:19. We got to really move here. If there are any charts you want looked at, please put them into chat if I don't get to them. If you would, put them in the chat log there, and if I don't see them in chat log, just keep putting them in there. But when I'm done this, I'll give everybody an opportunity, of course. Now, as far as the movers on the day, I noticed that well, there's some junk in here, but IPXL, that just about made it to the top 10 list. In fact, it was cut as number 13. We've charted that one. We've charted some of these others too, but that one specifically I noticed. The board's changed a little bit here midday, and it'll turn around again. Reed will be happy about the fact that we got him out of VHC, which, by the way, you're welcome to send me, if you're underwater. And by the way, I have to apologize because I'm still working through some people that, working through their charts. So when I have members, I try and do it in my spare time. I don't get a lot of spare time, but any spare time that I do, I'll look at charts for members that are underwater. And I'm pretty sure it was VHC that we got read out of here. I'm hoping it was. Yeah, I think it was on Friday. We got him out of that flat. What else do we have here? I think that's it. Gold's a little up on the day. Crude's down a little on the day. Okay, so let's get into that top 10 list. So the winner that I've got so far today was on the list, I do believe. Yeah, SRG was on the list. AAOI is on the list, and it's still on the list from, that was a big win last week, but I mean, this thing has been incredible, right? I actually posted in where was that? I don't know, is it 8 times it's up? But anyway, open the chart, you'll find out. Let's take a look how it's doing here. These were tricky to pick actually because there were so many. Like there's about 40. So I was shuffling through a couple hundred, and then I got it down to 40, and then I got it down to 20. So this is AAOI on the daily. Internet's moving slow. Darn it. It's too bad. So it's off a little bit today. Still, radically bullish. So I'm going to watch it. It's in basically in breakout mode, straight price action breakout. So what am I watching for? I'm hoping for a pullback to an MA and a bounce off the MA. So similar to this, although it didn't bounce off the MA, but it did have a right ear sidewinder right there, and it almost reproduced one there. Okay, so that's AAOI. Sorry, I got to move fairly quick on these today. The nice thing about the masterclass is you guys are going to have lots of time to ask questions and that kind of thing. We're just going to go through the table of contents until it's done. I don't care if it takes 50 sessions. We'll just go through it. And yep, we're going to send those videos to members. They will be on the website for non-members, priced at that $29.99. But students, we're going to do it like a smoking deal for students that can show their student ID card, or anybody that's underprivileged or needs a hand up. So HIIQ, one of my favorites. I I did treat this one in a fairly serious manner to kind of help learn a bit. And of course, you know, I'm sticking my neck out all day. Like, part of the reason I get so upset at some of these gurus is because we're serious about a bot that tracks who wins, who loses in their calls, right? Because the market's just, you know, a brutal lie. But anyway, like, it's funny, you know, like some of my favorite technicians, you know, they hardly get views on their videos, and they're like the best technicians in the world. And then you get, you know, it's Hollywood, like the market. I'm telling you, the market's Hollywood. Anyway, where was I going there? I think I was basically going to say that it's tough for the average folk that, you know, don't do this for a living to figure out what's real and what's not real. So I try. Oh, I put everything out transparent, and that should be the first. That should be the first clue, right? But it's even tough to get that through to people. You know, it's real simple, like, you know. But people don't check, right? They don't look at these, like, they don't go back on the feeds of these people and go, you know, does this person actually call it right, or do I just like this person, right? That's unfortunate. I like them. Wow, great. Anyway, where did I go with all that? I'm not sure why I was going there, but I do know that what I did was I charted this very, very simple model with a target on the chart, and go to, you know, you can go to my trading view and find it there. I believe it's unlocked. So this is number 2 on the top 10 that and these top 10, there's no specific order, it's just 10. Yeah, targets there, 31, mid-November. So, you know, you can even do a date, right, on your targets. So I'll publish this just in case you don't have, just in case you don't have TradingView. What I'll do is I'll put it on here. Well, I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to. Oh well, I will. I've got an obligation to share one a day. HIIQ set up. One of the top 10 list this week. How's it doing today? It's up 4%, isn't it? That's decent. Plus 4% on the day. I like that one. Anyway, I really stuck my neck out because not only did I give it a price target, but I give it a date, right? But, you know, I'm either going to win or I'm not good for you. So why would I, you know, folks do that though. Okay, so that's out there. We may as well finish putting it out there. I got to put one out a day anyway, so. Oh, my daughter messaged me on Facebook. Don't look. I got to get my personal Facebook and the company Facebook separated. Somehow I got to deal with that. Oh, good Lord. All right. Let's get over to the company Facebook. Compound trading. My one daughter just went to California. I was asking her how her trip went, and my other daughter's coming to visit, so I'm sending her some money. Okay, so that's that. HIIQ, so that's going well. The next one on that list was LITE. Now this I'm concerned about, but I wanted a good mix. So LITE actually made the list because of its mix benefit. It wouldn't have made the list if it was just purely on the top 10. And maybe that wasn't the right way to do it, but there's two in there that were put in there because I wanted to represent a certain mix. So I'll see if my gut was right here. LITE. Mind you, it's only first morning. See? Interesting. That was my gut feeling. I thought it was going to come off a bit. I mean, it's nothing. We'll see how the chart is here. Earnings is 22 days away. MACD's up on the daily, so it's in good shape. Squeeze momentum, I kind of flattened out there, but it's still trending. Stock RSI trending. Volume's off a little bit, so we'll see if we get a bounce off the 20. I don't think I'm in it in the swing, on the swing side. I'm pretty sure this isn't a holding. Yeah. So just watching for a bounce off of MAs is really all it is. Now it did bounce off the 50, so it better bounce off the 20 now, or it could be visiting the 200 again. We'll see. So I'm not going to get heavy into the technicals today because I got to fly through here. SRG, we know what happened there. We're winning there. Number 5 was actually a third that made it out of curiosity, and that was my personal. So a few of these, like I didn't go real stringent. I find this curious. Oh, it's off a little bit. So RSX. I've been watching RSX for some time. I've been covering it, and when it gets going, it can really get going. So I expected this. So HIIQ's at 52-week highs. Yeah, we know that. So what I found really interesting here is it hardly had to work through these MAs. I mean, it did have to work through the 20, but once it got to the 50 and the 100, it just blasted right up. That was it. So, you know, that's leapfrog bullish, right? Now, it has done it before and come off, but, well, we'll see. So that one was kind of funky. So I wasn't being technically, you know, very strict there. BDSI I really like. I want to see how this one shapes up. It's number 6 on the list. It's off a bit too. So this is a much smaller cap stock. It's in the bowl. It's definitely bullish. MACD is about to turn up. Squeeze momentum doesn't look the best. Stock RSI is good. Volume's good, and it's off a little bit on the day. It's holding up well. I wouldn't get worried about it if you're in it. I like it. Okay, so that's BDSI. There's really nothing to report, you know, on these because these are all kind of similar setups in terms of the technicals. And once again, we're going to be getting into them. So what was number 7? Oh, ABEO, I think it was on the list. It's off 3%. Wow. Interesting. I think it has a very similar setup. So some of these are off. So in many instances, that's good, right? Because you want them to come off to test the MA when they're in the bowl. Oh, this is straight breakout. Price breakout. So it's a matter of it getting up through the bowl and going. So I wouldn't have taken an entry on that today anyway if I was, you know, stalking it. IMGN, because it would have had to approve, right? IMGN. This is one of my favorites on the list. See how it's doing. IMGN and CLLS I really like. It's just holding its own. Really like it. Testing natural resistance, so that's what I'm watching for on that. Gets up over that and confirms it's gone. So that's what you want to watch for on IMGN. CVRS. Now I was hoping to have the time to actually, you know, save each one of these, make comments on them. Corindus Vascular Robotics. I don't think I know much about this one. Right, I was asked to put some smaller in there, and that's why this one got in there. I typically, like anything under $10 makes me nervous. $10, $12, $14. There's kind of a sweet spot for me between that $26 range. But everybody's got their own trading style and it's what you're comfortable with. I like smooth moving stocks. Lots of liquidity, smooth. You know, don't throw me any surprises. But the charts typically no. Well, this one is actually sitting up quite nice. It's come out of the bowl and it's proving itself. So if it starts to move off that 20, I'm of the belief it could get going. Its MACD's on its way down, so I'd be very cautious and squeeze momentum. So you want that to turn up for sure before you hit it. Unless you're one of those, you know, have to be early types, but you can go through a lot of pain doing that. CLLS, one of my favorites for the bunch. It's off just a little bit. So some of these are off, which is good. Good. So this one, same idea. It's up through the 200. Came back, tested the 200. Perfect. Technically perfect. First it tested the 200 to the upside, came back to its 20. That's not quite technically perfect. You know, got caught somewhere in between, but it's off of here, off of this as its support, right? So when it fails the MA, look left to the next highest candle. Fails that candle, look back to the next MA and just keep doing that. So technically it's sound, not perfect. That's technically sound. This probably bounced off that. Yeah, so that bounced up. Yeah, sort of. That bounced off the gap, I think. But the point is, it gets up over the 200, off the 20, fails, off the 200, back up. So, you know, it's not perfect, but close to. Off its MAs. It's not ideal, but it's good enough to trade for sure. Tons of volume right now. MACD, stock RSI, and squeeze momentum are up. I really like it. Ones that barely got cut. So CELG got cut. I really like CELG right now from the perspective that if it actually does get continuation, it's going to rip the daylights of the short, but it may not. Oh, look at that. Yeah, so the shorts are probably in trouble here. Well, they are. And it's 10 days to earnings. Shorts are in a very bad place. VFC, really like here. This one, you know, hasn't been set up well lately. And it's just kind of repaired, getting ready again. I traded it earlier in the year for a decent. There we go. It's apparel, right? Consumer cyclical. I'd be cautious with this one, but I did I got a good trade earlier in the year on it. But it's setting up nice. You can always study that on your own time. Google. Google and Amazon I'm watching right now for possible. Now, last earnings I held them both and that went well. This earnings I'm not holding them. So we'll see how it goes. What else barely? SQNS I was looking at. Again, because I had to get a mix in there, but it didn't go on the list. So it's off a little bit. It is setting up. Then there is, so UUP, so that's my dollar play. So let's take a look at the dollar really quick here. The dollar is rating around where the algorithm called support. Now, the algorithms don't say that's an absolute and that's an absolute. The algorithms just give us, the models just give us probabilities. Anyway, it's still hanging out there. So this could get interesting because if this turns and rips, I haven't seen anybody bullish on social media anywhere. I'm the only person I've seen actually post that he's long the dollar. Now, it's a small test size, and that's just from risk-reward perspective, right? Small. So we'll see. It's still testing itself out. TRCH is another one I want to look at right now, real quick. I was thinking before oil takes a dive. Yeah, so I'm south 3 cents. It's a little bag. I've got some small bags I'm carrying around. I'd like to get dumped. CARA, I'm looking at again for day trades. So this is really just kind of a watch list session. So it's trading in that range that I day traded it on Friday, I believe. Yeah, on Friday. I think last week or so I did it twice. Maybe it was 2 Fridays in a row. Can't recall. So yeah, it's moving off that 200. Once it gets up over those MAs, it's gone. That MACD might turn up soon too. Very interesting. The other one I wanted to check on real quick is Netflix. There's a lot of bears out there telling me I'm nuts to be in this one. It's not so bad. And then the last one of my holdings that I wanted to check on was FireEye. This is one of my favorite long-termers. Okay, so that's it for that list. Now let's take a look at this real quick. CDRS, 75%. Bulls meet wall, wall meet bulls. No, sure, it can get up over the 200 because that's our play, but to go from rock bottom to over the 200 in one swoop, pretty unusual for that to hold. Could. You can get a feel for what happened the last time. Probabilities are, 0.01% for that to happen in this scenario. So yeah, meet your wall. SEV on the day is, if you're new, by the way, it's a good idea to go into the middays from the last week or two. I know they're boring, but you know, if you want to win, but trust me, on the other side of winning, it's not boring. It's anything but boring. I can do whatever I want, except for, you know, when it comes to health or stuff like that. But I'm talking about, you know, just life. That's an interesting chart. I mean, I can't even comment. Wow, there's some funky charts here on the top today. Meet your wall. This is the one earlier that had the heavy repeat buyer. And it backed off way before the 200. So that tells you something. I'll absolutely guarantee you the average pair. That's all I can really say without knowing, because I don't know anything about it. ACRX. So really, you know, so far junk. It's all junk. Now, could this stuff prove out? Sure could. How's that look? Does it hold its 200? Not easily. Doesn't hold its 200. What is with all this junk? So it's 200. Well, you know, so it did it here. Did it here. I'd watch this one. It's a little funky around 200. What do these people do? Oh, that's why it's so funky. Yeah. None of these respect technicals. Top ranked. Good Lord. Oh. Oh. Equity research. Wow. I wonder how their rank is going to come out with our bot. I've just never been that person to do things halfway. You know, like if I'm going to build a car, you know, if I was like building cars, they'd be like, you know, good ones. Okay. I'm not the likable guy. I'm the, you know, I'm the grumpy mechanic under the hood. You're not gonna drive that effing race car. You don't know how to drive it. Learn how to drive it. I'd definitely be the grumpy mechanic. The way I always put it to the people that I work close with is, you know, if I build that car for you, and you're gonna go out and race with the best in the world, and I'm gonna build a car that's gonna compete with the best in the world, you better know how to drive that car, right? You go to the Indy 500, you get in one of those cars, you can get in the best car, and if you think you're going to make it around that track, anyway, that's the way I put it, right? You get the best car, but you got to be a good driver too. It sounds simple, but that's what you're doing in stocks. You're competing with the best in the world. My job is to get you the best car. This is the way I explain it to people. QBAK. So this is a trending nightmare for people that don't have the stomach for it. It's not a great place for early traders to start. This is advanced stuff. I'm pretty sure it's low float, and I'm pretty sure, yeah. Look at how thinly traded it is. I mean, it's just, you know what happens with these? What happens with these, there's no technical here. What this is traders, the best in the world, trading up and playing chicken. That's all it is. And at the point, you know, that's all it is. It's playing chicken. I'm telling you, that's what it is. It has nothing to do with the company. It has nothing. It's just a low float, and we play chicken with them. And 99% get taken by the 1%. That's how they work. And you know, try and prove me wrong. You won't. It's how they work. And I was very good at these when I was younger, and I won't have anything to do with them now because it's unfair. It's just completely unfair. I mean, I can go in there and, but why, right? What does that do for me? Karma-wise, like life-wise, like what net benefit is there? It's hard enough to find net benefit in the stock market, period, right? That's why I'm about trying to give back, you know, here, take these algorithms and do something with them. Speaking of which, I have a foundation starting soon, but that's for later on. I'll tell you about it. Poor kids, basically, around the world. So this is in the bowl, about to come out. Doesn't respect the 200. This is, what do they do? Medical equipment. That's kind of, well, it does kind of, yeah, I guess it does look like yeah, it does look like a medical company now that I look at it a little closer. But, I mean, it could turn into a breakout. So that's unfortunate that these are the ones that have the movement today. Well, here we have, oh, I thought that was it. Well, it's not much more, is there? You know, here we have our setup, but it doesn't have the history. So without the history, I'm just not interested. You know, it's fill in the gap, sure, great. Play's done. I mean, it could go, but the real gravy is gone. Yeah, these are all really mucky. There's nothing good in here today. What happened? Why are these moving? Just rotation. That's all that's happening. CGI, well, that's a bottom play if you like to go through the MAs. And we talked about this. You know, 50 to the 20, 20 to the 100 next, and the 100 to the 200. That 20 to the 100's got lots of margin in it. But, you know, it's more than 60% done. TRVN, right up against the 100, same play. So isn't it interesting how the same plays start moving on the same days? AUPH is interesting. It does have that typical bull setup for Momo players. Your problem is right here. So, you know, this is a thinly traded issue. Right today it's not, but normally it is. So these can fall off fast. Well, here, see? You know, bullish, pause. Look at that. Like in light speed 3 times. So, you know, these are not fundamentally predictable plays that we're seeing here. So BVXV, we've looked at this one before, and so this one did set up over the 200. It did get its pop. Looks thinly traded. It's fairly thinly traded, but it's, you know, it's 5 in, right? Five legs in, and you can see the result. And it's got a lack of history. So there's the theme of the day. IPXL I was looking at very closely. Kind of surprised I didn't put this on the list. I think it was number 13. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, I'm surprised this one didn't get in hindsight. So what now? Still got some room. It's probably got 10% before it gets seriously challenged. Maybe a little more. But it will, you know, it will revisit the MA, so you do have to be careful. The time to take it, of course, is when it gets through the 200. So, and then on the back test of an MA and when it bounces, this is a little difficult. But really, I shouldn't have missed this because it's, you know, gets through the 200, tests back at an MA, and wow, you know, this is its first day of bounce. Tricky. It should go. TCCO we've looked at before. Don't like it at all. Really hard to trade it. Right up, you know, 200 miles an hour against the wall on RLJ. SOI. Wow, this is interesting theme today. SOI. No history. FONR. So we've seen a few of these where they got the 200 and just whoa. So there's 2 or 3 kinds of setups in there. Not the best. As far as the ones that have come off, ADOM, low floater. So they're just rotating from ADOM. The money from ADOM is going into QBAK and others of that nature. I wouldn't trade, personally I wouldn't trade any of these. I know all these have come off. Standard. Sorry guys, I've got one of my daughters on the phone here. Yeah, so that's it for that. If anybody has any charts to review, we can take a look. Quarter rock starting HIIQ. XQR. IMGN. Okay, I went through that one. Welcome aboard, Todd. Sorry, buddy. Hedgehog. Doesn't look like there's any requests in here today. Well, it's not so bad. It's 12:58. Short session today. They're going to be heavy sessions going forward this week anyway. So nobody's got any. Tracy doesn't have any. Leanne doesn't have any. Weird. JD, she's on holidays this week. She always has some. SGMO. Let's take a look. Yeah, sorry, I don't see what's up there a lot. So you just have to put them back in for me. URA SGMO. and FBR. FBR, I don't think I looked at FBR. Okay, so let's start with SGMO. 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 Wow, what a gap on that hit. Gets up to the 200, comes back, tests, goes up, back down, boom. It's crazy. There must have been news right there. Technically, you can do it, but. So where's your natural resistance here? You're right at it right now. You're at the first of a few. There's one there, 11 and a half, 11.80-ish, 11, 12. It's between 11 and 12. And right now you're at the big one. Gets up over this one, it should go. The nice thing is it's got a gap up in here. So if you do get over that resistance, mind you, that's pretty, you know, you're getting pretty. 14 bucks. MACD is iffy. Squeeze momentum's iffy. So indecision. Volume's coming up. But wholly bullish. Wow. 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 Yeah, there's not much more I can say about it. It's like, yeah, it's a straight bull. What do you got for earnings? 16 days. So you should, I mean, you should get some pop on that before earnings. But yeah, because it's so far extended, it's hard to tell. It's up against resistance. So, but its advantage is it's bullish and it's got the setup, and it's got earnings coming in 16 days. But you got a bull bear fight for sure right there. See how that MACD has never looked like that? Interesting one. I wish I could give you more detail on it, but that's all I can tell you. Sometimes I can be very specific. It has a series of bulls, yeah, for sure. Like there's a whole bunch of them there. So you just look left and you'll see them. You're playing a fundamental scenario. I can only help you with what the chart actually says. But I know that the charts know first, and because of course the charts represent what people know, right? And it's impossible to keep something absolutely quiet. It's absolutely impossible. So your primary bull is right where it's at. You're right. its challenge is that it's got serious resistance. So so that represents your push-pull, your bull-bear fight just in the chart itself, right? And that's reflected in your MACD and your squeeze momentum indicator. So then you look for things like divergence, right? You got price going up while your MACD is indecisive. So that's to the bull's advantage. You're up over 200 into the setup. So that's to the bull's advantage. So that's to the bear's advantage. And you do have a, the shorts are going to hold longer because you've got earnings coming, and so you get the opposite of a squeeze as you get closer to earnings. Right now you'll get the benefit of the bull side of that, but as you get really close to earnings, that's to the shorts advantage, to the bears. The squeeze momentum indicator is definitely indecisive. So I know that you like the chart and you like the technicals, but I have to be honest with you and tell you that just because you think it looks good, like we see that all the time, right? On social media, we could go on right now, and there's technicians that'll be like, it feels great, it looks great. Well, what looks great about it? Well, let's break it down, right? So then it becomes, yeah, there's great things about the chart, but there's very bad things about the chart. So then what it becomes is probability. So if you're okay with something possibly going against you, then that's that's the risk reward. Is your risk reward on your side based on the fundamentals? It very much could be. I don't know the fundamentals. So, has it gapped down before? Like, is it really risky that way? Doesn't look like it. I mean, sure, when it was way overextended up here, like it was further overextended, right? Like, see how far it was above its 20 EMA, but it's getting close to where it was here. That was a free fall. But there's not many of them here. Like, that's a pretty smooth trading stock. So if you're waiting for big news, your risk reward might be in play. But you're right about the bull. It's just got to get past that resistance. So, and that's why I was going through all your different resistance areas. So yeah, I'd call it like, 60-40, 60, the chart's saying 60-40, 60 to the bull side. And maybe that's because some insiders know stuff, right? Hard to say. So good luck. I hope you hit that one, because it'll probably be huge if you do. Then we had FBR and we had URA. Yeah, if you're waiting for huge news, your risk reward is probably on your side, right? The thing about fundamental plays and like news plays and geopolitical and stuff like that is that you do put yourself at risk. It doesn't matter how good the news looks. I mean, even when I worked on the markets and we thought we knew, because we could trust somebody or whatever, you do put yourself at possible risk. That's why it is nice to trade math, right? Like, but I'm not saying, with the day trades and stuff, I'm trading math. I'm talking about the algorithm models. URA. So MACD's trending, squeeze momentum's trending, stock RSI is peaking. So the bulls are all over it. The bulls have been haven't let go since 27th of June. They've been in it and stayed in it. And you can tell by the MACD how calmly it's just trending. Same with the squeeze momentum. So the bulls are holding. They're absolutely convinced. Just testing the 200 from the underside. It's got the 200 coming down. And you got the base trending, which is nice to have. So all in all, you got a pretty bullish scenario setting up. There's no doubt. 20 MA through the 50. Price testing the 200 and 100. It gets up over that. And then your MAs start to straighten out, like what happened here. Now that's kind of odd. But you're dealing with you're not dealing with Coca-Cola, you're dealing with uranium. So the technicals aren't as easy because there's all kinds of other stuff playing in it, but super bullish, crazy bullish. Look what happened here when it got up over the 200. And it failed on the first round, came back and got pausa. 1411 to almost doubled. From its bottom, it doubled. 1196 to, basically a double. Cool. Nice chart. Definitely. Probabilities are definitely on the bull side there. Not enough for me to be in it, but it's definitely a nice chart. There's no doubt. Tracy, okay, I'm in from 775. Wow. FBR. BR. The thing about the fundamental plays, or like the geopolitical plays, or your resources, or anything that leaves math out and it's or probabilities out, and it's risk reward based on different scenarios. As long as you're prepared for the potential loss and you get good at it, like I know fundamental guys that make a fortune. It's just whatever discipline you get into, right? And I wish I could help you more with fundamentals, but the problem is, to help everybody with fundamentals, you have to be an expert in everything, and you can't be. So nobody, you gotta, you have to be a sleuth, right? You have to dig and dig and dig. So FBR. So this one is getting a little long in the tooth, but it could turn into a trending stock. That's the thing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 or 6 there. Like really based on, well, it's tough on the history of that chart, because you do have this here. It should bounce, if not, short term, it could bounce long term. But, it's beginning to look a lot like this one here. But it's hard to say. So you just, with these scenarios, what you do is you find your entry, and then, you add as it's verified and tested. Personally, the way I would play this one, if I wasn't in it, I was looking at getting into it, like the MACD is crossing stock RSI is trending up. is I would wait for that 20 to come back around and get your right ear sidewinder on, right? Where the 20 comes up. And so it crosses down through the 50, crosses up the price above, and pow. You had a bit of one here, and that's what happened. You know, to a point. It was with the 50 and the 100, but you get the point. It was pretty wide to it. You know, it's not technically the right setup, but you know, very, very similar. So it does, you know, it's decent. Bull's advantage is just how far it'll go. Yeah. So all three of those are definitely. Oh, you got earnings in 7 days. So you got to be careful there. Holding through earnings too, right? You know, probabilities. I don't know if I would put myself, I mean, I did it last earnings with Amazon and Google. But yeah, earnings, they're tricky. So cool. I don't think that there's anything else. Those are some good charts. I'm sure the other members will like the fact that you guys brought those in. Yeah, that was decent. So we went through a lot there. I'll leave the room open. It's 1:15. Just to reiterate, I have to do a heavy reporting session tonight because our reporting last night got backlogged by a TradingView software update issue, and so we've had to redo all the charts, and we kind of basically lost 26 hours of charting. So anyway, so I am having to do that tonight. So I am going to get some R&R, get some rest. So I'll be out for the afternoon, but I will leave the rooms open. If something happens to the room and it shuts down or whatever, hopefully Sartaj, he should be up and around soon. He works all night, right? So, and if it does shut down, it shuts down. But yeah, so I think we're all good. I think I covered it all. Yep. Okay, cool. Well, good luck this afternoon. How's my play doing? That chef brought me SRG and XIV. Let me take a quick look here before I sign out. SRG. It's probably come off a bit. Yeah, fair bit. A 47.24 print there. I was gonna exit, and then I thought, you know what, this is gonna be a multi-day. Bigger like this. Really want to get that tight. Looking at it now, maybe I should have. Yeah, 47.34 it printed. But this is typical for this type of play. Okay, so that's SRG. That looks fine. Holding. XIV. What's oil doing? So oil's at support right now. Oil isn't helping the markets. Gold hasn't really got going here. That's kind of surprising. S&P's barely green, but it's green. And XIV is decent. Kind of gapped up there. So yeah, I'm not too sure. I should cut this or not. Okay, folks, so we'll see you in the morning. I'll leave the room open. Thanks, appreciate it. Catch you later. Good luck.